welcome here to the home of youngest Malaysian champion and Ferrari's biggest fan. And of course, Ferrari's fastest driver as our Formula 1 2024 season gets to one of our favorite tracks over here, the track that we walked just like the Yas Marina circuit, which is the circuit de Barcelona, de Catalunya, Barcelona, or de Barcelona, Catalunya, however you wanna frame it. Well, the home of the Spanish Grand Prix, and obviously we are here for the round 10 of the championship, and just before my name's day, because it's the qualifying was run just 2 mere days, just 48, less than 50 hours before I actually get to celebrate my name's day. You know, I return to the top of the standing with a brilliant pole position. Oh yay! Wow, we are so absolutely happy, you know, about this. You know, so far it's a perfect weekend, so obviously we didn't have such a perfect weekends in Canada, right? Because we haven't managed to top all the practice qualifying sessions, and of course, you know, also with the race which we have in Monaco, obviously, you know, that was a bit of a struggle. Top the 2 practice sessions, obviously, but you know, one of the practice sessions we didn't do maybe that ever so well, but obviously in the qualifying didn't top it, didn't win it. But here in Spain, in Catalonia, we were, you know, in the groove as we were obviously chasing our 3rd Spanish Grand Prix pole position, and you know, we've gotten it, you know, like a champion. And obviously we will be aiming over here, you know, to be on a podium here for the 4th time, and hopefully it will be then a 2nd time, you know, at the top step of the podium, because you know, this track traditionally, you know, I did race it obviously before, right? You know, with the Ferrari, you know, Spider that you will see as I turn this beautiful Scuderia Red Retina iMac, and you know, as we will then set off on our brilliant qualifying lap at the end of the Q3 that nailed that pole position, that ended that barren run of basically, you know, 2 qualifying sessions which were botched, which we didn't top, right? Monaco 2nd, Canada 7th, you know, similar thing obviously happened during the Chinese GP. So, you know, we hope that this is a start of many pole positions, you know, to go, because I have to say, you know, we've always gotten the fastest lap, we've almost always won, but in terms of the pole position, that's kind of the weakest part of that weekend, right? So it's very difficult, for example, to get, you know, that wonderful, that very committed Grand Prix, you know, Grand Slam, if for example you fail to qualify on pole position. So how did I achieve it, right? So for the whole weekend, as I climb into the SF1000 T818 Formula 1 Racing Simulator, you can see how beautiful that wheel looks like. Yeah, I was, you know, feeling quite okay, you know, with the car. I did 114.2 in practice 1, 114.0 in practice 2, practice 3, you know, then we improved the time, you know, even more to, I believe, 113.3, and, you know, then once we basically started the qualifying, you know, yeah, in the qualifying 1, you know, I try to go really hard, you know, really fast, you know, through the first chicane. You basically kind of, you know, almost go full throttle, you know, pretty much in the first turn, but it didn't do the trick for me, right? So what does it mean if it didn't do the trick? Well, I actually spun, you know, heading, you know, out of that, you know, going into the 3rd turn. So, you know, that compromised a little bit the qualifying 1. I did 114.0, then 113.5, but still qualified first and maintain, you know, that perfect run, right? You know, that was, you know, then the 5th official qualifying session in a row that I took. In qualifying 1, I then went even quicker, 113.2, then I exploded for 112.6, right? And I knew, you know, once we were, you know, gonna get into the 112s, that, you know, the pole position would be pretty much ours, because that was just a magnificent pace. So I didn't know if we were, you know, gonna be faster, you know, than 73 seconds. You know, that's how fast, yes, that's how fast the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia is nowadays, right? You know, you do remember, it was kind of similarly fast, you know, when Michael Schumacher was racing, right? But after that, you know, the chicane was added, so it was usually 1 minute 20. The track still stayed at the 66 laps. I mean, the Grand Prix, of course. So, you know, the race is still quite long, to be honest. But now it's gotten, you know, much shorter, because obviously not having the chicane, having some of the corners reprofiled, has actually made it, you know, quite a fast circuit. So we went into qualifying 3. We did 13.179, and you know, that was obviously a bit disappointing, right? So, you know, I decided, you know, recharge the battery, went for it again, as you will see over here, you know, yeah, with that battery, obviously, you know, we are always, you know, having to, you know, tread in and be careful, you know, with kind of, you know, the different, you know, the components that we are using, of the engine, right? But we decided, okay, here we should still be competitive. I mean, this was the first race, last season that, we've gotten, right? So now pretty much, after, we went around the whole world, we've won obviously 7 more races last season, and we already, managed to win obviously pretty many over here this year. Again, that's also 8 wins, so 16 wins kind of out of the 24 races. So you can see that that's amazing 66% success rate. And I did manage to improve in that final qualifying run, on that specific Q3 soft tires to 1 minute 12.6, slightly faster than the qualifying 2, but almost identical time. So we will take a look at it, how I put it on a pole position, and I cannot wait to celebrate with a shiny golden Paris 2024 Olympics medal for this amazing pole position, which is of course our 8th pole position over here, our 7th pole position. Is it? Yeah. Exactly. Yes. My bad. Yeah. This is our 7th pole position, because obviously we didn't get the Chinese, the Monaco one, and also the one in Canada the last round. So 70% rate. Obviously in a sprint, at the moment, right, it's 50-50. So looking good, right? 12 qualifying sessions, and I did top 8 of them. So again, 66% rate. So over here we will take a look at it, and the good thing is that because in the qualifying 1 I didn't need to waste another set of soft tires, so we are pretty well set for the race, which should be bone dry, and which we will probably need as many different sets of tires as possible. So are you ready to see how I put it on pole position? Of course you are. So over here, let me turn this beautiful Scuderia red retina I make for you, as we nicely polished it. And we will go on this super red hot lap, or I should say our qualifying lap, that really showed just how good we are. Okay, so everybody, let's now go. You can see the wonderful setup. Again, very comfortable. That comfort is absolutely important. You see, it looks very beautiful over here. And we will now go, as we are back to pole position winning ways with Jan, the Smiling Sun champion. So are you guys ready over here? Okay, so you can see, obviously, I'm at 89% battery, so could be a little bit better, but that's, with the battery, it varies a lot with the Scuderia Ferrari, so that's something, that we definitely will probably have to take another penalty for, but for the time being, let's take a look at it. And here, by the way, is where you can, go and that experience, driving the real Ferrari race car. So, 3, 2, 1... This is Circuit of Catalunya, Barcelona, guys! Well, let's go, Jan! Look at that, great top speed. And over here, this was just a steady lap, Obviously, I used all the experience that I had. The fact that I was using the battery here through this corner, that helped me so much. And we are purple! Come on, Jan! And this is critical, so actually it will put us a bit down, but then, we took a much better line through this challenging corner. Then it will be 7 to 4th gear. You've already seen it. I explained it in a hot lap, how important it is. And here, the blind corner, we don't have much of the battery left, but we won't be needing that much of it, because, there are lots of turns now coming. We are purple again! And this is how you take that reprofile corner. I've gained lots of time over here. Yeah, we are pretty much on it, but nice and controlled, and using all of that 89% of the battery that we had. And wow, pole position fastest lap, Januksha 112.638. So absolutely amazing over here. And that places me on a pole position, as you can see, for the Spanish Grand Prix. So we absolutely cannot wait for it. So you can see how handsome I look in that wonderful over here Scuderia red Ferrari overalls. And this is how it finished. So I'm starting first, 112.638. That's a really good time over here. And we will be, next to us will be Max Verstappen of Red Bull, 113.802. He's the only one who's gotten shortened into 1:13. So yeah, basically apart from that first qualifying run in the Q1, I would have set 5 laps that would place me on pole position. That's how dominant we are over here. Again, the circuit is a little bit shorter, so that's a good distance. Third is then Lando Norris McLaren. Fourth, Charles Leclerc, our Scuderia Ferrari teammate, 1.5 seconds behind. Fifth, Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin. Sixth, our future Ferrari teammate, Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes-AMG Petronas, very close. 7, Oscar Piastri McLaren. 8, George Russell, almost identical time for Mercedes-AMG Petronas. 9, Sergio Perez Red Bull. And look at Alexander Albon, with whom we had big tussle, obviously, in the previous Grand Prix in Canada, qualifying 10. So yeah, this is a great result. We are absolutely ecstatic over here to once again plant it on the pole position, because that's how it should be, right? And that pretty much sets you nicely for the rest of the weekend. So yeah, fantastic performance by Jan, the Smiling Sun champion over here. Okay, so we will nicely set it up, and I think, yeah, it looks great. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, but what does that mean? Well, of course, getting that exclusive 7 pole over here, 8 if you count the sprint, means nothing other than it is time for the big celebration, which is with... That's right, we are back with the golden shiny Paris Olympics medal. Let's go, Jan, Smiling Sun champion, you got it! Wow, this is exactly, why, I think the trophies and, the awards are so important, because, they look so great. Look how lovely, how shiny it looks like, on me. Wow! And yeah, totally deserve over here, planted it on pole position. And definitely, we will be going, for the victory here in Spain, because again, as you do know, it is absolutely important for us, again, to show that this track, which used to be a bit of a bogey track, at the beginning, of our racing career with Scuderia Ferrari, we've really improved it a lot. And, I think, once you learn how to go, especially once you go to the track, and I really appreciate, just how challenging it is, and how you have to take the corners. It is so much fun to drive, and I hope it will be exciting race. But I hope that finally, starting from the pole position, that we won't be behind. We won't be having to go for some crazy overtakes like we had to do, especially in Imola and in Canada, right? Obviously, we also had to take a lot of risks in Monaco, right? Again, for example, even in Miami, we fell behind. So who knows? Maybe for the first time since round 3, it might be a straightforward race. We will see, but. Absolutely, it is the round 10 of the championship. We are so excited. Obviously we've done so well in Canada, over to goal the field. So, we will want to cement, our dominance with the 9th victory of our current campaign, which would obviously already, make it better than the last year's, campaign, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, wouldn't there be a better way to celebrate the happy name's day for Jan, the Smiling Sun champion? Of course. So everybody wish me good luck. 1 or 2 stopper. We don't know. Probably will be a 2 stopper. Usually the track surface is quite abrasive, but yeah, 2, 3 or 1 stop, I think we got it all covered with lots of fresh sets of tires, and especially with an amazing pace. And if, we can be setting the fastest lap times when it matters, I'm sure we can win over here. And hey, if we could get that exclusive, Grand Prix Grand Slam, that would be even better. So wish me good luck with that. I hope you enjoyed this qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix round 10 of the 2024 Formula 1 season. And yeah, the pole position for Scuderia Ferrari achieved by none other than Ferrari's fastest driver, Jan, the Smiling Sun champion. Forza Ferrari!